Still street mixtapes, nigga.
Give me your trap money.
Like this right here is like for real. Like we really putting content together right now. I want y'all to understand that. Like this is not just point and shoot with some cameras on your cell phones. We really out here trying to get good angles. We got drone footage, we got GoPros, we got Canon cameras on the way, gimbals on the way. So we really out here trying to put good content together for all you guys out there, and we thank you for it. Thank you for being patient with us. You know, this is our first go around. By nature, or by profession, we are IT professionals. But I think by heart and through our DNA, we're actually car and gun enthusiasts. So appreciate y'all joining us today. Let's get it. Okay. Welcome everybody back to the channel. I'm Aaron, this is Dave, and we're D.N.A.
All right, so what we got in front of us right here, this is a 1996 SS Impala. Big question of the day, is this hood classic or not?
A lot of police cars. So
right.
therefore,
you're right.
We like, okay, we like that car, and then now we can get the luxury version, so to speak, of that car, because now leather seats, you got your well, like I said, leather seats, all your little creature comforts, power seats, things of that nature. You get that in this package. And so I think all that kind of accumulated to make it in fact a hood classic, which is to me a classic in general.
Well, I got one final question for you.
Okay.
If you had your choice to choose between a 1996 300ZX twin turbo or a 1996 SS Impala with the LT1 engine, what are you going for?
Impala all day, baby.
All day? I don't know, that wide body 300ZX twin turbo. Hey, that was a...
But you know what? We do have somebody, I believe, who used to own one of those.
We do.
Right.
Now,
so
did he have the wide body or did he have the...
I just know he had one. He did a lot of work to it. It was fast. And somebody who will remain nameless.
Right.
Actually, our next guest.
Right. So
the owner of this car.
Right. So without further ado, we go ahead and bring the owner of the car out and give us a little bit more insight about it.
Right. Gene, come on in, man. Gene the Punisher, welcome to the channel, big bro. I appreciate you, man. Thanks for coming out. Yeah. So what we're gonna do next is we're gonna take this car, this beautiful mint condition car, out on the road, and Gene and I are gonna have a conversation about some of the mods he's done to it, some of his future plans with it, how he came about it, and why he likes it. So we'll be doing that next. D.N.A. fam, thanks for tuning in, and drum roll, something. Right. Let's get it. Gene, welcome back, man. Again, appreciate you, man. So yeah, let's get into it. Let's first give the basics, right? Let's talk about the car. Year, make, model.
The only way you can do an Impala is, to me, is the 96 with the shifter on the floor.
On the floor?
Yeah, I don't want the column shift with the middle dash. I want this, and the lower gauges with the shifter on the floor.
Hey, you know what? You know what's wild? I prefer the column shift.
No, that shit feel like a truck.
But I'm in the boat already. I'm in the lane, y'all, so I need my column shifter.
Yeah, I'm with you. I understand.
But on the floor though, that's the only way to do it.
That's the only way for me to have it. Because again, I didn't even like the dashboard in the 94, 95. But then outside of that, it was subtle differences between the two. Okay. But again, the 96 is always it was all iconic forever. But again, with the, have you ever heard anybody rap about a 94, 95 car?
No, it's always 96. Yeah.
Always 90s Nipsey Hussle's 96 Impala, third life on wheels. It's just what it was. It was always that thing, you know what I'm saying? The shape is the same, but again, to me, I want the shifter on the floor.
I got you.
It affords you different luxuries, cool.
Okay.
You know, different presence, all that.
So you mentioned the interior, right? So we'll start with that first. Usually people go straight to the engine and the trans and all that stuff. But tell me about the interior, because you did mention 94, 95 was a little different.
It was different. It was just, like, again, it was just the digital dashboard that looked taxi cabish.
Oh, that's right. You did have the digital dash. You're right.
With the big numbers, big crazy numbers. And then again, the column shifter, again, straight out of taxi cab, things like that. And again, to me, the 96 was that to differentiate. It was a 1-year car. The shift on the floor, analog gauges came with less issues. Okay. This one did have an issue with the gauge cluster, that I had fixed with eBay or something like that. Okay. But again, it's just, to me, the shifters on the floor.
That's it. So, ooh, I was about to punch it, but I feel. like she on catch the bottom on the way out of this joint.
I don't think it's that low.
It's not that low?
No.
It just feel that low.
Yeah, it do, because it's wide as a bit. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, here we go. All right, Jay, so sticking with the interior, right? Tell me a little bit about the seats, man. I see you got the two-tone going on. You know, how'd you come about that decision, and you know, how was that process?
I always wanted to be slightly different than another one you might see, so that was part of what I was doing, because the enthusiasts, the purists, they want to keep the interior stock. But again, I wanted, I even changed the carpet. And again, in my search for the carpet, I found a guy who has 5, 6 of them, and it was part of another project he was trying to do. But again, me and him became good friends. He put me on with a couple different parts. I think I might have mentioned to you earlier, I put a whole new trunk mat in there.
Oh yeah,
through a friend of his. He helped me get the center caps for the stock wheels. With that, I don't run them, but you know, again, it's one of them things that make the part complete. But again, I had a theme, two-tone theme, black carpet. That was definitely where I wanted to go. So I explained that vision to a gentleman and a local guy who helped me do it. The embroidery was a big part of it, because I don't want to go two-tone without highlighting the Super Sport and the Impala logo in the backseat. That had to happen. I was like, and I need that done. You know what I'm saying? So it pushed back the timetable. The guy was like, well, the embroidery, because you know we had the COVID thing, the embroidery's closed. I don't know when they're gonna open up. I'm waiting for them. It's not a rush. Just you know, make that happen for me.
Exactly, man. And you know, I think that definitely sets this Impala apart from most. Right. Because I've even seen them do, you know, they usually color match it, right? So I've seen that kind of purple maroon. Yeah. They'll do the interior. Okay. And I'm not a big fan of that color as an interior, but this black, man, it's awesome, man.
So this black fits the two-tone. That's so I'm again just trying to tie in all the elements to make it make sense, and to make it, you know, again, stand apart. Because I've even seen on the internet where, because the issue with the embroidery is a copyright licensing issue. So nobody wants to touch that. You know, they was like, they don't want to be we were the ones to put that on there. Right. So with that being said, you know,
the embroidery shop will remain nameless.
Exactly. He's like, you don't tell them when you got it done. If your boys want some done, let me know. That's how that works. Right. So again, the guy, and he was the guy that did the stitching for the season, wasn't the guy that did the embroidery. Right. Yeah. Throw that out there just in case somebody do their research on me. But again, and while I was waiting for it, I think I told you earlier, I ran the sound system, ran all the cables and everything to make sure it was, you know, did all my sound checks.
So continue on with the interior. The sound system, you mentioned basically you had interior gutted, right? No seats, no mats, you know, dash was out, everything was out, and that's when you chose to run the audio, right?
Exactly. It was a perfect time.
It was a great time.
It was my COVID project, if you will. While we were on quarantine, those months out, you know, I spent outside, you know, cleaning the interior, scrubbing it down, and matter of fact, it's never good in peace. A friend of mine, he cleaned the headliner, because you know, if you scrub it too much, you'll, you know, take it, you know, make it lint up and all that crazy stuff. I was going to get color match seat belts since I had everything out. Okay. He said, nah, let me take the seat belts out and give them to me. So he literally put his cleaning solution on it and put it across the ground and put a power washer to it, and it took all of the stains out of it.
That's great.
It was like some before and after type stuff.
Yeah.
That was awesome. So it saved me money there, and you know, kept some of the originality, because the aftermarket seat belts, you know, that's a little detail, but didn't have the GM buttons on it. It just had a little aftermarket buttons. So those little details just brought it all, you know, full circle.
So it's, you know, it sounds like you got a thorough once over of everything interior. So back to the audio. Just tell me real quick the specs. What did you choose? Size of the speakers, all that good stuff.
Again,
dimensions.
This is not the first time I've done this. So I had a Marauder that I brought it up since the barnyard find again. And the biggest thing that took that build over the actual, you know, blue book of the car was the sound system. So I brought it back to the stock settings and sold the car, because essentially I wanted this car, and I didn't want these cars at the same time, because they kind of check the same box. So I had components left over from that build. Type S Alpine subs in the front, Pioneer flip out the head unit. This actually had JL 6x9s already in it that worked. I fired them up. They worked. They held three-way speakers that held notes on every level.
Okay.
Keeping them in until I blow them.
Oh, okay. Great.
Alpine Type X that I sourced from a friend of mine. Actually got 2 of them. So for this car you only need 1 of them. One would do just fine. It rattles all the windows and
license plate
and all that.
Yeah, that's the trunk rattling.
I just put something behind the license plate because that was the only thing outside that rattled.
Yep.
So I put something in there that would that rattle down a little bit.
So moving to the exterior, right?
Mm-hmm.
We'll get the engine and trans. Well, let's talk about the engine and trans first, because one of the reasons why I think a lot of people love these cars is the LT.
Yeah,
right. That's kind of the draw to it. You know, former or an old Corvette engine, right? One of the first generations of the LT came out of there, and they put it in. That's family sedan essentially. Yeah. I mean, I hate to say it that way. I mean, it's 4 doors, big boy, and it is what it is. But yeah, tell me about the engine and trans, man. What have you done to it, and if you got any future mods?
Again, a friend of mine, he pulled the transmission in my garage. Put it on jack stands, pulled it out, put it on the floor. I bought a wrong one, thinking it was. I bought it was. Matter of fact, I bought it because the LT1 covered a lot of generations. So I bought an Camaro LT1 transmission. It did not fit. It was 10% off, was shot the whole thing, so it sold that back and had it rebuilt. So the guy that did the rebuild did a torque converter rebuilt all the gears in it, and even changed the shift pattern in it, so it has a more aggressive shift pattern. I love it.
And this is Darrell, Deuce, one of his guys. We call him Deuce. So shout out to Deuce for coming through in the clutch, man, and getting that transmission rebuilt.
It's definitely. So it didn't cost me a lot. Again, with that, the interior and transmission was the big ticket items. Everything else was a couple $100 here, a couple $100 there. Mostly my labor, especially for the interior. My dad helped me out with the tune-up because I'm not a mechanic by trade. I'm not patient enough for it.
Right.
So he did the major tune-up. I changed, again, the whole cooling system, everything. It was a good build, man. And I'm not into it, for a lot of money most of the time. You know what I'm saying? That's the best type of build.
Exactly. Yeah. So, tune-up.
Cooling system, transmission.
Yep, transmission, all that stuff has gone over.
Every all brakes.
Right. Well, actually, that's a good segue because you mentioned brakes, and I was going to ask you about the suspension and brakes as well. So, any changes? Anything you done on the
suspension?
On the suspension side, anything?
Nothing major. The only people that would notice is Impala enthusiasts. Everybody knows 94, 95, 96. The rear axle was pushed up.
It was. Yeah, it kind of almost tucked in that rear fender. I
don't like that.
I don't like it either.
So Element Performance suspension. One of them guys. I got a long list of people I shop with.
Right.
But they make a kit that centered the rear axle.
Okay.
And with this car came with a set of 20-inch Fuchs wheels that were chrome.
Okay.
But since the car sat outside the elements, they were weather beaten and pitted.
Yep.
So I had them powder coated through another friend of mine who lives about an hour away, but he does me right, and he hooks me up, and he's done several sets of wheels for me, and we had these powder coated black, and they came out awesome.
Nice.
Even the center, because he doesn't do anything that course isn't metal. The center cap to these wheels were metal, so they were powder coated to match the wheels, so it matched perfectly.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
You put some black lugs on it. Great, it's a great deal.
All day,
Right. So of course the rear calipers were sealed, but were
seized.
So 2 new calipers there. One happened in the front. So again, all new brakes. I painted them red. Give it a splash of color to break up all the black. Put a little red bow tie in the front with a red Super Sport badge in front.
It is. And so body was pretty much, rust free. Little things.
Little things. No major rust issues. We were missing some paint on this door handle here.
Okay.
He had a billet grill, which I didn't like, so I went back to the stock factory style grill.
Okay.
Again, put the red bow tie up front. The spoiler was missing a little bit of paint. So again, the new paint only covers the front rear bumpers, the door handle here, and the spoiler. Everything else for the rest of the body, we just buffed it out several times.
Right.
So
And so mentioning the front and rear bumpers, You got those replaced, right? Well, at least the front for sure.
But
I know the front
because
was
I
done.
wanted the fog lights, because again, most Impala things like, I don't want to put fog lights on. I'm putting fog lights on. And again, I shot in the dark with the set of cheap headlights I bought on Amazon. Did I get measurements? Nope. Did they fit? Oh yes, they fit in there perfectly. I got another guy that does audio wiring and stuff like that. He wired them to the factory light, so I didn't want to put an additional ugly switch in the car and everything.
Exactly.
So when you turn on the parking lights, you got a halo.
Exactly.
When you turn on the full lights, you got a full halo.
You got everything. Yep. That's awesome, man. It hit close to home.
Yeah.
Because we seen these growing up.
Yeah. Exactly.
You see them, you know, police cars. Even if you wanted to get the Brougham, what's it, Brougham, the big boy? What's the big boy you just mentioned that had that? Roadmaster, thank you. Buick Roadmaster, yeah. So you get the Buick Roadmaster, you know, that style and that body of car.
And again, I've met good guys that own these cars, so they're not shy about sharing leads for parts and things like that. When I would lose certain boats that are GM, like I think I lost a seatbelt. Trying to find that in Home Depot is not gonna happen. So you know what I'm saying? They was like, guys was like, hey, we gotta leave that such and such junkyard. They got a Caprice in, man. Go see him before it gets stripped. And these cars get stripped fast.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
it's a community. It's like an Impala Caprice community, man.
So
and it follows into it. And then even, you know, growing up, like I said, we couldn't afford Impalas.
Oh, no.
So we bought Caprice. We bought a Bubba, we bought the Caprice, and that's pretty much
maybe also snobby shit, but that's why I didn't want the shifter on the column. I want the shifter
on the floor. I got you.
You know it's a Impala at that point. Yeah. Because a lot of people, what they was doing was clone. Remember the people?
That's what we did. Listen, we were one of those. A lot of people I grew up with. That's what we did.
All you did was put the wheels on.
You can even run the stock Impala wheels, because that was fashionable. Let's do the stock Impala wheels. We're gonna do the exhaust
and slap the sticker on the side.
The chrome SS Impala SS. You know what I mean? And then that's kind of how we did it. But now that we're adults, we can kind of go back to our childhood, grab the toys we really wanted.
And that's what it's about. So and again, I want mine to look like mine. You know what I'm saying? So you see mine next to somebody else's. Okay, that's clean too. But here's guys, this and this. That's what sets it apart.
Exactly, man. Exactly. Well, big dog, I appreciate your time today, man. We actually pulling back up to the park where we kind of met up and everything. So I just want to say thanks, bro. Appreciate your time coming on the channel.
Bro.
Yeah, definitely, man, definitely. And so we have more content coming, especially with Gene. He has a fleet. I mean, we haven't gone through, we just scratching the surface here, but there's plenty other cars and more content we'll have with Gene. So thanks again, guys, for tuning in. Like, subscribe, comment below, man. Give us some of those childhood cars you grew up with that you admired, and it don't have to be in Lamborghini. It doesn't have to be, you know, the Ferraris and those crazy sports cars, man. Some of those things that you were kind of obtainable, something you grew up with that you seen and you like, man. Leave that comment below, man, and we'll get back to you. So thanks again for tuning in. D.N.A. out.